Welcome to Football with Cheese. So, I went on vacation last week. Before I went, I recorded the offseason recap for all four AFC North teams. I already had to redo the Steelers one, and Aaron Rodgers signed. I'm redoing the Bengals one. I'm probably going to have to redo all four. I've even done the Bears. I've even started in the NFC North. So, we'll see what happens. Hopefully I don't have to keep redoing them. But I've been looking forward to this one, so I don't mind doing it again, because the Bengals are a fascinating team to me. Not enough people are talking about them. Let's get into it. If you have not subscribed, though, please do so now, and hit the bell for notification. I cover all 32 teams on the channel, so if you're a fan of the Bengals or any team, make sure you are subscribed. So, the Bengals went 9-8. That suggests they were average, but they weren't. They're a very good team. Not a good team, a very good team. The problem is they lost a lot of close games, and the defense was bad. Really bad. The offense is outstanding. Maybe the best offense in the NFL. Definitely top 5. We'll see what happens this year. But you can't start 0-3, and you can't start 4-8. The schedule did get easier, and they won 5 straight to end the year. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Bengals fans, but I believe no 4-8 team had ever made the playoffs. They almost did. Just missed. They lost both games to the Ravens, who are one of the best teams in the NFL. One in overtime and the other by 1 point. Even if they win one of those games, they're a 10-win team. Could have won both. They also gave up 44 points to the Steelers, who did not have a great offense last year. They lost that game 44-38. In fact, this is crazy. They lost 4 games, the Bengals, where they scored 33 points. That's impossible. Most teams will win every game if they score at least 23 points, or almost every game. I've never seen a stat like that. 4 losses where you score 33 points. So, this team is close to being great. Bengals defense just don't suck. Just be average. And this is one of the best teams in the NFL. The offense is that good. But the toughest loss was not one of those Ravens games. Believe it or not, it was not that Steeler game. They lost week 1 at home to the Patriots and scored 10 points. That's the game you look back and say, we should have won. The Patriots were not good last year. They picked 4th in the draft. Can't score 10 points at home against a bad team. But the Bengals in free agency, they extended Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. They had to keep them. Joe Burrow wanted them. It's a lot of cap room at the wide receiver position. But those 2 players, along with Burrow, form such a unique offense. It's so hard to scheme against. You have one of the best 2 or 3 receivers in the NFL, Chase, maybe the best number 2 receiver in T. Higgins. And then you re-sign Mike Gesicki, the tight end, who's going to get a lot of targets when teams play a lot of 2 deep safety to take away those receivers. That's just really good weapons. Chase Brown, the running back, had a really good year. I thought trading Joe Mixon would hurt them more than they did, but Chase Brown had a very good season. He's a good receiver out of the backfield. They signed Oren Burks, linebacker. He was not a good player for the Packers. He was okay for the Niners, but when the Eagles had a bunch of injuries to their linebacking core, he really stepped it up and played well in the playoffs, so that could be an underrated signing. The one move that didn't make sense to me was signing Terdero Slayton, a defensive tackle. He was with the Packers. As a Packer fan, I know him very well. He's a nose tackle that was really bad at stopping the run last year. In previous years, he was pretty good at it, so maybe they're hoping he returns to form. But 2 years, $15 million, don't love the move. I guess they thought there's not much out there. We've got to get someone to help at defensive tackle, and they do. They lost Alex Kappa to the Raiders, guard, and Sheldon Rankins, defensive tackle, the Texans. Bengals fans aren't going to be crying about those moves. Those players weren't very good last year. And then they released Jermaine Pratt, I believe yesterday. So he requested a trade. He's a veteran linebacker coming off a down year. I'm guessing it's a Jair Alexander situation where they probably tried to trade him and just couldn't, eventually released him. They drafted 2 linebackers in the first 4 rounds. We're going to get into that in a second. So it's not going to hurt them to move on from Pratt. Like I said, he had a down year. A lot of Bengals defenders had down years. So let's get in the draft. It was mostly about defense. In the first round, they went Shamar Stewart, edge rusher, Texas A&M. He had an unbelievable combine. He has a ton of upside. He's already a good run defender, elite athlete. Didn't do the agility drills. He only has 4.5 career sacks. So he had trouble getting the quarterback on the ground, but he did lead the team in pressures. But maybe the agility drills is where he struggles. I wish he had done them. His comp is Jadeveon Clowney, and that makes a ton of sense. Both very good run defenders. Sack production not as high as you'd like. Both freak athletes. So that's really good value if he hits his upside. The questionable move on the draft to me was Demetrius Knight, linebacker, was a 2nd-round pick. I saw him more as a 3rd or maybe even 4th rounder. He'll probably fill in for Jermaine Pratt at middle linebacker. They took Dylan Fairchild, guard, in the 3rd round. He's a really good athlete. He can develop into starting guard. And let's be honest, they need to upgrade guard. I think Cordell Volson and Cody Ford are their projected starting guards. If Dylan Fairchild doesn't beat them out, that's not good. Offensive line, believe it or not, is a weakness on this team, despite having such an elite offense. Can you imagine if they had an elite offensive line? This would be one of the best offenses ever because they have so many good weapons. I like the Barrett Carter pick in the 4th round, linebacker from Clemson. I think he can develop into a starting weak side linebacker. That was good value. You can argue he's a better prospect than Demetrius Knight, who they took in the 2nd round. An undrafted free agent, I like Seth McLaughlin. He's a center from Ohio State. He had some good games and bad games, but I saw a lot of 5th and 6th round grades on him. I even saw him in some 4th round mocks. Maybe because he's center only, he did not get drafted. But it's possible he develops into a starting center down the line. Important players, we've mentioned most of them already. Joe Burrow had an unbelievable season, MVP-like numbers. If the team wins 11, 12 games, he probably wins it. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, unbelievable receivers. Mentioned Chase Brown, the running back, had a breakout year. So Trey Hendrickson, we haven't mentioned yet. He's the edge rusher, led the league in sacks last year. He's not at minicamp. For some reason, the Bengals won't pay him. And they just saved some money releasing Jermaine Pratt. I know Hendrickson's, 28, 29, but you don't have a lot of leverage here. The defense is basically one really good player in Trey Hendricks and then some above average, average, below average players. No one is on that level on the defense. Now, Shamar Stewart obviously has that potential. So the Bengals really need to keep him. If they trade Trey Hendrickson, the pass rush could be really bad. And it wasn't super great even with the sack leader. There wasn't another player that consistently rushed the passer besides Hendrickson. Bengals, just extend him. Stop being cheap. You got to keep him. The most questionable move, maybe not addressing the secondary. Dax Hill only played 5 games. That hurt probably more than most people realize. And players like Cam Taylor-Britt and Geno Stone had down years. They need to step it up. So maybe the secondary is better than it played last year, but they need Dax Hill to stay healthy for sure. The defense just needs to be league average. That's all it needs to be because the offense is so good, and they will be a contender and compete with the Steelers and Ravens in the division. Breakout player. I'm going to go Amarius Mims. He's their right tackle. He was a first-round pick last year. He's super athletic, super long, 6'7", like 335. Crazy size. But he was a project, just like Shamar Stewart. The Bengals obviously like high upside guys, elite athletes with their first-round pick. He only had 8 career starts at Georgia, so he had an up-and-down rookie year. We've talked about this over and over on this channel. The year 2 breakout for offensive linemen, a whole year in the weight room. He needs to get stronger. He needs to be a better run blocker. But the upside is tremendous, and he could develop by year 3, 4 into one of the better right tackles in the NFL. So, Bengals, I think they win at least 11 games and maybe more. Obviously, if Joe Burrow gets hurt, that changes, but the offense is going to be incredible, and the defense just has to stay healthy and just be okay. But they've got to figure out Trey Hendrickson's situation. So comment down below. Do you think I'm overrating the Bengals? What do you think? How many wins do you think they'll have? If you have not subscribed, please do so now. Enable alerts so you never miss a video. Share this with anyone who loves football as we continue to grow football with cheese. Tonight, I'm going to be on the Sports Truth podcast starting at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. That would be 7 Mountain and 6 Pacific. Yes, I can count backwards. I'm going to link it in the description. One of the guys on there is a Bengal fan. So, Bengals fans, make sure you check that out. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Really helps out the channel. And also check these out if you have not. And I will see you in the next video.